through some games. These were played correspondence chess on chess.com. And we have the accelerated dragon, which is meant to open, the way Knight Fighter plays is to avoid the Rosalimo. But now, when you play knight c6, you're no longer in the accelerated dragon. It's the way it is. You're getting into a regular Sicilian. White does have the chance for a Maroczy bind with c4. He plays bishop e3. Yeah, and this takes it out of the accelerated dragon. That's a whole different concept. So he's playing this to avoid the Rosalimo. So I don't think h3 really helps white here. Just keep developing. Play bishop g7, get castled. And now normal here would be bishop d7. Very good. And you know, black has fully equalized this position. You know, this h3 tempo it's not really helping white at all, so you can't do much about it except keep developing. So maybe a6 here. And we want to get the rook to the c file, but we have to be careful about dropping this pawn. Let's see if I'll show you what I'm looking at. Now the question is, can white trap that bishop and win it? And I guess in this position he probably can. See, the knight is going to be able to come here and help protect this square, and then the queen will come to c7, and you know, white just can't get enough protectors over there. Let's see. So for instance, on queen e3, knight d7. Now this is not threatened yet, but it's going to be. The knight could protect it, but it's going to be exchanged off. I don't know, let's see. This knight should remain protected. Okay, so looks like he can play rook c8 here. That's what he did. And now a3. So, you know, in my opinion, white has bungled this opening. White could have had the pawn on f4 and the bishop over to f3 instead of these two rook pawn moves. I mean, you know, this is what I'm calling the internet defense, invented on the internet by tens of thousands of players who like to keep bishops and knights out of these squares. So why? Because bishops pin knights, and knights deliver forks. Okay, but you know, black is easily equalized, and a3 serves to weaken the queenside pawns. Now, I've taught Knight Fighter a concept here, which he keeps forgetting. I think he's going to get it now. But the goal is we want this knight to go right here. Okay, so here's the first option to try to get it there. Let's take a look. Okay, now this fork is annoying. All right, this is burn a move. Now we're on the bishop, we're on the queen, we're on the pawn. So the queen backs up. We can just go steal the bishop here. And you know, I mean, what does white have to show for this? And you know, the answer is nothing. Now black can continue with queen b6, pressuring this pawn. And if knight b3, we just collect this. And you know, white's got weak pawns in the center. Black has the bishop here. You know, black's close to a strategic win here. So I mean, now naturally, I helped black out by playing king h1, but I'm doing that to show you what black's resources are here. So what's black gonna, or what's white going to do? And you know, I ask this question periodically, and the answer is always we don't know. But we're going to be ready to meet anything that he does. So let's try b4. We're going to look at b3 next. There's a reason I'm going to b4. So we have the same situation as we did before, except maybe instead of, he doesn't have to protect a pawn over here. And the other choice was to take this knight. But once again, black is getting the bishop pair. White's just preserving a different colored squared bishop. And now the c2 pawn is a backward pawn on the open file. The knight on c3 is only protected by the queen. It is white's move, but black is looking to try to play queen c7 or even queen c8. Either way, there's a heck of a lot of pressure down here on c3. And if this knight moves, there suddenly comes more pressure down the diagonal on that c3. So this is a move that black has to play. But he didn't do it. Let's see what he did. He played a6. Okay. Now it's still here on the board for all the same reasons. This gives black a comfortable position. Now, one line I didn't look at before was b3. I meant to do that. It could be played here to keep the knight out of c4, but now we see this pawn is unprotected. Okay, now black's not attacking it, but he might later. Let's just imagine this queen up here on c5. Yeah, well, there's a fork, but this knight may not stay there either. At the same time, we also have the backward pawn on the open file. We have c3 being weak. Black has completely equalized this position. And if white doesn't play b3, this is coming. You can't stop it. So advantage to black. If black gets this in especially in this formation. Now I had a game. I'll look for it. I had a game where I did this knight to a5 and c4, and my opponent took it off. And then he tried to attack me. I'll dig up that game. I'm pretty sure I still have it on PGN for it. My opponent attacked me vigorously, but he didn't have enough going, and I just basically stopped his attack cold and went into the end-game winning. So this is a valuable maneuver that you can't forget. So here on a second chance to do the knight to a5, he plays knight d4. Now any chance for an advantage has vanished. Okay, the game is now even. Okay, so there's some pressure on f3, but not too. Black shouldn't, or white shouldn't worry about that. This weakens his king position, but it's not clear that black really has an active plan in this situation. The only thing he could attempt to try is to play for d5, but trying to open up the center so that these bishops get some better diagonals. But it's not all that clear that black can get d5 in here. He doesn't here, but now black is trying to get it in, it appears. But now for the moment, this pawn here is a weak pawn. Now, case in point, like I was saying, you have to be very careful here about what you want to do. So, like for instance, e5. This knight needs to run somewhere. Let's put him over here. Okay, that keeps the threat alive here. But no, let's see. Might have been playable. Let's see. Queen e1 allows knight f4. I don't know. Let's see. Let's see. So black didn't push d5. I'm trying to find out if he can. But one of the drawbacks to all this is that this bishop is getting shut in. So I don't know. Maybe e5's no good. What happens if we take? Okay, take back. Let's see. Take this. This is looking awful even. Knight takes. You know, the more you trade, the closer you are to a draw. Now, you know, given that black lost the game, a draw was preferable to a loss. But you know, black had all the winning chances at move 11 and 12 if he plays knight a5. So let's see. So I'm thinking maybe he can play d5 and move earlier. Now, there's a few other tricks in here. But there's, you know, this thing may be a problem. Okay, watch this. Takes. Now, if you take this drops. And then I guess we're going to pick this guy up too. And black is winning. Black is a pawn ahead. White has no real tricks. So maybe black can play d5 here instead of spending a tempo with e6. And you know, he misses his advantage, but he's playing for equality. You know, now when we have a chance to play for advantage, we want to do that. We don't want to settle for a draw. Okay, that's why the knight a5 maneuver is important. You know, and again, when I bring up this other game that I played over 40 years ago, where I did this plan, White had not wasted, you know, with these totally useless and horrible blunders. Okay, White had not wasted time. White had one thing that I mentioned. He had the pawn up on f4 and the bishop on f3. And this queen was positioned on e1, ready to come out to g3 with mating threats. Now, it was a Shea-Finnegan position. That's where the bishop is not fianchettoed. It goes over, this bishop goes over to e7, but, you know, my knight a5 maneuver picked me up the bishop pair, and the bishop pair was useful in stopping his checkmate. And you know, we'll see when we get there. I'll show that game. So maybe black can play d5 right here and right now, but he didn't. So, you know, from what I've seen, he can play d5. Now, maybe, you know, logic says, since I've tied up the mobility of my pawns over here and, you know, weakened the dark squares, and, you know, g3, this knight might find a way in here in some variations. And since black is weakened this pawn, maybe this move makes more sense. Okay, you know, trying to have extra pressure so that, you know, if d5 that you know, we take. And so there's a difference here. Maybe not much of a difference. Okay, now let's see. c4, bishop back. Rook d6. Rook d8. Rook here. Now, probably still even. Now, black has no weaknesses, but you know, both sides have really bad bishops. They both have pawns crawling all over the, I mean, situated on the light squares. You know, this rook looks impressive, but it's going to be driven out. And you know, this game just has draw written all over it. White has the queen side pawn majority. You know, and one reason White's not getting an edge, the answer is right here. These are useless moves, useless, and they happen all the time in amateur chess. You know, there are positions where you do these. You know, definitely are positions you do these, but you don't just do them at random. Okay. So now comes D5 or E5. But now he chooses to go here. But I'm thinking, what I was looking at earlier, why not do this move? Okay. The first point is we're going to try to get the bishop pair. Now maybe we don't have a great bishop. If we trade off the light squared bishop, let me say that again. This will be our extra bishop. Okay, like give you an example. Let's burn a move. Let's put this here. Okay. Now we don't have to take it yet, but I'm just doing this to make an illustration. We have this bad bishop, but how bad is it really? We control the light squares. So now white's not threatening to chase it out by any means, but we might opt for this and just keep this bishop on the board. And while all that's going on, this bishop is a potential target. I'm sorry, this pawn is a potential target of the bishop. Black can force white to be defending this. He can play queen c7 right here, right now. This threatens to win a pawn, and white either needs to play f4 or maybe do this. But here's that c4 square again. Certainly looking juicy. Let's go chase. Keep this bishop under wraps. Now
check.
Maybe you have this check, but we need the queen to menace that square. That's going to take a while. Okay, and I'm just kind of playing around here. Is this a threat? Possibly, but we have to be prepared to drop this bishop with check. So white's not ready to play queen h4. Black has chance to craft a response here. Let's see. I'm just going to burn a move and see how we deal with this. h6. Now g4. The idea is g5. But black may survive this. Let me show you. Let's see. I don't know. I'm just burning a move. Okay. Here. Let's see. We don't necessarily want to push. I don't know. Maybe we can survive.
Check.
Maybe we can survive this. But I had an idea. The idea was, no, it's not a good idea. I wanted to let him take this pawn and then take this, but he can take back with the queen and it's all over. I was going to use this pawn on h6 as a shield. Just a line. But knight d7 is playable too. But what black needs to do is get this knight here. That's where the knight belongs. You still have a knight on the board. Got to get him to c4. See if it can be done. Okay, it looks like it can be done. Knight b6. Okay, so let's play this. The idea is to put the knight on c4. That's the idea. We can't do it with the other knight because it's been traded, but no, I don't know. Maybe we run into some trouble here. Now if you go here, I don't know. This looks good for black. We got this great square. The bishop's been activated. This bishop. Let's see. But this is the plan. is to get the knight, that knight to c4. So this takes more command to c4. White's pawn structure isn't all that great, but Black's is starting to play itself out too. There's not much Black can do with his pawns now. But here the positional drawback is White can play Queen e3 and Knight b6 is off the table. He doesn't, so now this is the reply. Very good. Okay, now we're headed in there, so we're making progress. Now White's trying to generate some kind of an attack, maybe with this, but I'm not too worried about that. Knight c4. Okay, defense. All right. So, in effect, what Black has just done is handed White 2 moves. This is the move to play. But we do have to be careful. You know, we're no longer guaranteed to get the bishop pair with this. That knight seems to be a goner, huh? Maybe we can salvage something here. Let's see. We just eat that. Then we eat that. And now the threat is to win 2 pieces for the rook. White's a pawn ahead, so, you know, the knight to c4 was too late. Okay. We're defending against this threat. But now here comes that queen e3, so even if we wanted to come back here, now we can't. And, you know, look at what this bishop become of this bishop. You know, he's just imprisoned. Okay, now this weakens the king side. So, you know, it's difficult to see how Black is going to make progress here. You know, Black has kind of messed himself up major time. I see an idea here, though. We don't want to weaken the king position. You know, it just weakens g6. Let's try queen e7. Now, the purpose of queen e7 is, number one, it keeps the heat off f6. But now, you know, we're trying to do something with this piece. We couldn't get him to c4, so let's try to get him to c5. And, you know, let's say White tries transferring the queen over, you know, in the direction of the king. Well, let's get this in. Okay. Now, we're eyeballing e4. And, you know, if White wants to take it, that should be check for Black. And after White gets out of check, we play d4 and spring this bishop loose. And, you know, we have this thing down here, but I don't know, you know, it shouldn't be enough for, this shouldn't be enough for White to win. Let's go back to this defense. And let's see. H6, G4. Wait, no, G4 is not playable here. Look, see? King here. Now, if we go here, we run into bishop F3. So here, let's just take this thing off once and for all. Now, you know, White needs to be able to sack the queen here and then plant a rook on h4 to get a checkmate. If he doesn't do that, his attack is running out of steam. So let's try g4 now. Okay. Let's just take this. Get a little lateral defense over here. Now let's see. Can we gain a tempo on this bishop? Don't see it. Let's see. Let's go pin that f-pawn. Now let's see. Maybe there's something here. See, first point, push. Let's see. Takes.
Check.
That's a big ouch. Or is it?
Check.
Who's mating who? Clearly, if king here, it's mate on g2.
Check.
This is fascinating. I love positions like this. Maybe what we need to do is, maybe what we need to do here is this first.
Check.
That way we can check laterally.
Check.
Check here. No. We come back here and save the day. Now there were other variations in here, which I was looking at. Let's back it up carefully. So, you know, once the sack is made, you almost have to accept it.
Check.
And if white plays a waiting move, you know, black may have time to get this queen back to help. Let's try a different waiting move. Let's try this, because we want to do this, this, and this. Now when this happens, we go there. And then we go here. And white's winning. You know, so, you know, there's all, and this isn't a guarantee. You know, I've shown black winning, I've shown white winning. A very, very complex. And, you know, there are other stuff too. But this is how you analyze a game. You sit there and just go through the motions. Now, the other idea here is, well, no, we can't do this.
Check. Checkmate.
Okay, so that's out of the question. Let's see, here. The threat is takes and mate. So we almost have to go up to h5, right? Okay, let's back it up a little further. Okay, the threat is queen takes and mate next. So here black has to play h5. And you know, what was I playing, g4? Or was I playing this? I was playing this.
Check.
Now this is just losing directly. Oh wait, no. I played that to get the lateral defense. Yeah, I hang stuff all the time. Yeah. It's risky. It's risky footing here. Let's see. Check. You know, if we have to, we can just play this here. You know, whoops, it's white to play. Oh yeah, we gotta get the king. Well, I put him on h1, then later on h2. Let's put him h2 right away. That would make a difference. Now we can always clear this square for the queen to come back to. The point being that takes. I don't think white has a forced win, but trying to get the knight to e4, I think would have been a better plan rather than just creating the weakness. Okay, thanks for the tip. I should drink water more often. Well, I'm drinking an iced tea. This is made from water. Okay. So this just creates weaknesses. And white's doing a little redeployment. Now we can't get this move in. The idea of trying to post up in here. And now we definitely can't. So, you know, now, you know, the black pawn structure, which was attackable, is suddenly not so much. Okay, you know, a3. You know, white's pawns are solid, and you know, black is just stifled for activity. You know, this bishop has no place to go. It's not getting out of its prison. This bishop is blunted. You know, I mean, can maybe attack this pawn, which is at the moment thrice defended. This knight can't get to b6. if he goes to f8, he can go to h7, then he's done. You know, the only logical move I can see is try to bring this knight back to b8 and put him on c6. And even then, I'm not sure if even bothering to take the bishop on d4 is going to get black anywhere at all. You know, black has just played himself into a prison. Now, maybe black can try for some relief here. You know, but white has all the attacking chances here. You know, g4 is coming at some point. And this starts attacking because black stopped to play h5. So, you know, one nice thing about black's game is white hasn't played to break it open yet. You know, white doesn't seem to know that he's the only one with a break, which is here, and he's not playing it. You know, he could be opening up some lines. So maybe what black needs to do is play pawn to h4. You know, it seems a little odd, but just case in point, you know, if g4 comes, we can take en passant, and you know, it's white still has his work cut out for him to play h5. Now let's run the king for the hills. Now none of this is forced, but now here we can take, because if you take this, you fall victim to this. So here my idea has been to run for the hills. I saw a game at a tournament last weekend where white had this strong initiative on the queen side, and it was kind of like King's Indian defense, and black was doing an attack on the king side, and white just took her king and ran it over here and ended up bungling the game, but white had all the chances. So now white can prevent king e7. He doesn't have to play h4. There's no rule that says he has to play queen 8 or h4. This cuts the king off, but hey, let's try this. And you know, now h4 will happily trade queens.
Check.
And now with the position locked up, you know, they're basically, oh, it's still a pawn break. There's a4, but you know, this game, you know, has draw written all over it. You know, it's like there's not much white can do here. Now try to weaken this square. I'll just come back. Now let's see. I'm trying to get a rook down here. No, this is forced. I'm just kind of having fun. Okay, so the only way to try for an edge is rook a5. Threatens this pawn. If come over here, this goes here. Now let's see. I'd love to play this, but the rook is overloaded defending two squares. Not you know, white has to play here, but with proper yeah, it has no added sugar. Sorry. Okay. So you know, most important thing is here is we're not getting checkmated. We're living to fight another day. But we're basically just sitting here and saying, you're like a boa constrictor and you're wrapped around me, and I'm hoping that you can't squeeze tight enough that I run out of breath. You know, this break is coming. But boy's been reluctant to do it. He wants this break. Okay. Well, you know, you have a target. Here it is. Now the queen side is locked. So it's time to run the king for the hills. This may very well hold. Okay. This king gets... Well, we have that.
Check.
Oh, darn it. So we got to clear e8 for the king. Now the threat is to put the king here. Oh, wait, we can't do this. There's bishop b6. Okay, well, let's see what he does. Comes back here. Now he finally finds the break. This king is not getting out. While he's preparing this break, maybe it's time to try to send the queen over. Okay, that clears for this. But there comes that. Now we're attacking the bishop. We're attacking g6. Turn out the lights. The party's over. Yeah, it's all over here. Now we got lateral defense.
Check.
Here comes a clever move. And if rook takes, queen h8 is mate.
Checkmate.
And if king takes, there is mate. Well, what can I say? What I already said. Okay, let me do this. I'm going to